After a game, well, geez, it feels weird saying it this way. After a game of marbles, going optimal. The guy that literally filmed me getting down on a knee to propose to the woman that I married in elopement a couple of days ago. That guy just happened to win a game of marbles. And I said, hey, you can pick any album from the album pie. You know what that guy picked? Illinoise. He picked the Illinois album by Sufjan Stevens. Now, so many people have said, Walter, what's your favorite Illinois song? And to them, I reply, I don't know. Sufjan Stevens is an indie rock god, apparently. But I subscribed to the Church of Benjamin Gibbard, and I didn't necessarily jump deep into Sufjan. As in, I've never listened to Sufjan before. This is one of those indie rock pretentious things that I just stuck to in ignorance, if I'm just being as honest as I can be about it. There was a long phase of my life where I listened to only a couple of bands. And that was before I really branched out, before I started like trying to explore, right? And I liked the Shins and the Decemberists and Death Cab and Frightened Rabbit. I had no time for this Sufjan Stevens character, right? It sounds really dumb to say that, but that's just as honest as I can be about it. It was before I was really like, yeah, let's discover music. Let's like see what's out there, you know? So yeah, I know so many people are surprised that I have not heard Sufjan Stevens. I don't know if you can understand how that kind of vibe controls you, but I think it is that kind of thing that leads into music death. And if you may have heard me talk about music death on the channel, basically ending up in a scenario of life where you listen to a playlist of like 200 songs for the rest of your life, and no music sounds new and exciting again, and you just, you know, you just kind of exist. And I feel like I was kind of on a path to that. Now, again, listening to this album is kind of a banner moment for me because of how many people, for how long I have been interested, overtly interested in indie rock, for how long that this has been just a core staple of my life, right? Everybody is surprised that I've not listened to this album, and it's purely from a point of pretension. And so I'm excited to get into this, break away from, like, well, it's not Bon Iver, so why would I listen to it? Yeah, that's literally what I'm kind of thinking. Guys, Sufjan Stevens has a whole lot going for him, and, I know none of it. I've got some context here. Let me double check ski. And so this album was made for Sufjan's 50 states project, making every album for each state. This failed, making every album for each state. This failed miserably. Anyways, there's not much to context for this album outside of it being conceptualized around various parts of Illinois culture, with from John Wayne Gacy to Superman to the World's Fair, as well as Sufjan's relationship to his religion and living as a gay man. A masterful, beautiful, orchestraic folk epic that I'm genuinely shocked was not in your favorite Formative 5. Really? For those of you who don't know, there's a little bit of context there for that. If you did not know, I have a playlist on Spotify. It's called The Formative 5. It's 5 albums that changed my, that started my music journey. It literally, those 5 albums are the albums I branched all of my musical taste out of, right? They are Plans by Death Cab for Cutie, The Crane Wife by the Decemberists, Oh Inverted World by the Shins, The Midnight Organ Fight by Frightened Rabbit, and Neutral Milk's Hotel in the Aeroplane Over the Sea. I spent my youth listening to those albums, and those albums taught me how to play the guitar. Those albums taught me that I liked image-based, weepy, emotional, like whiny boy lyricism. Painted in imagery. That's just, it's how I am, right? So, this is You think that this is going to be my favorite album ever if I just like the albums I just said? Amargosa. Somebody get that man his lemonade. Love you, Amargosa. Friggin' man, love an Amargosa order. All right, guys, I'm going to hit the play button on this thing. But before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. And if you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Twitch. These people over here are actually the best people. Come hang out with us. Come discover music with us. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. And I got to be honest, discovering music with good people is way better than doing so alone. Would you guys agree? Guys, how many of you are listening to this album with us for the first time? How many of you guys are, on a repeat listen? First time or heard it before? One of your favorites ever? Okay, guys, what do you think I'm going to think of it? Let's check it out. Illinois, Sufjan Stevens, concerning the UFO sighting near Highland, Illinois. Okay, love to hear it. Let's go. Oh.
When the Revenant came down, we couldn't imagine what it was.
Wow. The flute
In
work
the spirit of
in tandem with this piano.
3 stars, the alien thing that took its form. Then to Lebanon, oh God, the flashing at night, the sirens grow and grow.
The vocal sound.
Mysterious shade that took its form.
And it doesn't have
Oh, what it was, incarnation, 3 stars, delivering signs and dusting from their eyes.
Dude. Okay, that's really good. Heavy imagery, man. The lyricism is massive. The piano, the interweaving of the vocals with the flute sounds, and again, he's kind of got this like earnesty in his whisper, right? Like it's just kind of like it almost sounds like a lamentation, but it feels more inquisitive than that. Very interesting. And again, it was just such a digestible sound, like such a kind of like I don't know another way to put it. It's like an album that kind of opens up with like "Meet Me Where I'm At," you know. And in this case, you just happen to be near Highland, Illinois, but it really does give you that sound of, hey, like, look, this is just meet me where I'm at. Does that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just speaking of vibe, but that's the vibe I get from the music. I really loved that song. The piano was just great. So, the Black Hawk War, or how to demolish an entire civilization and still feel good about yourself in the morning. heck of a song title. Yeah, I don't envy you, Crimson. Maybe just do song 1. Listen to that. The panning work. It's not panning. It's not panning. There's just... They give you a sense of the room. There are different things happening in either of the ears. They're both horn-based, but it's almost like you're standing in the middle of the room. A soundstage for sure. You hear that tremolo on the guitar? This is so busy. And it's ascending. Swallowed my spit rock. This really has so many dynamics, so many layers. You've got these random guitar rakes. Yeah, Clarky Malarkey. W's for Clarky. You've got these random guitar rakes which have these like tremolo woo sounds. It's not like a wah, but it's a woo. So it's like more of a tremolo kind of thing, like with the reverb. You've got the horns. You've got the flutes. You've got these... I can't decide if it's all like... It's got this very much like folk kind of vibe to it, but almost minstrelly folk kind of vibe. Symphonic folk. I could get behind that, Giz. I could get behind that. The orchestra here is massively cool. Like the horns, all of it. And the crescendo. Oh! And then just the end on the piano keys there. The piano being the feature in this is particularly lovely. I've really, really, really appreciated that. Give me a moment, Clark. I got to take a Clarky pause. We back. And I got these little, well, like cream puffs. Cream puff is done. Now, guys, I was saying the piano sounded like it's definitely been like a feature within this particular album. And I love that you have like a piano front, because so often in indie rock you have like a guitar front. I mean, point blank and period. No sticks tonight. I've got Cherry Garcia and fish food in the fridge at the moment. But I saw the cream puffs and they just look good. So this one is Come On, Feel the Illinoise, Part 1. The World's Columbian Exposition, Part 2. Wow, this is a lot. Exposition Part 2. Carl Sandburg visits me in a dream. Holy actual cats. I'm just now noticing the length of the titles. It's almost like this is written in more of a, what am I thinking? Like more of a prose than anything. With like a jazzy kind of vibe. This particular album definitely has me happy that I hired an editor, so I don't have to figure out this part for the video. Barry, Linus, and Lucy.
Oh, great intentions. I've got the best of interventions, but when the ads come, I think about it now. In my infliction, entrepreneurial conditions take us to glory. I think about it now. Get our conversations, call United Nations, if you got the patience, celebrate the ancients. Get our whole creation, call it celebration, or United Nations, put it to your head. Oh, great, what's it?
This is almost like indie prog in a way. Like these transitions kind of even seems like Frank Zappa inspired a bit. Like if Frank Zappa's ideas got all up and into indie rock and started touching things, that's what this. I love that transition there. Wow.
Adequate committee, where have your walls gone? I think about it now. Chicago in fashion, the soft drinks.
The horns definitely neutral milk vibey.
From Paris, incentive, by cream of wheat invented the Ferris wheel.
Show in the chat. If it's in 5/8, then legally it's okay, I'll allow it. Can I show of hands though, or show of chat? I'm a person that grew up eating cream of wheat. Do you know what cream of wheat is? And if so, do you like it? Because I love cream of wheat, but it's something that like most people don't know what it is, and if they do know what it is, maybe they're not a big fan. Big old fan of cream of wheat. I like porridge and I like malto meal. This is absolutely just who I am. I'm a guy who knows what he's about. I like a hot cereal.
Oh, great intentions, covenant with the imitation. Have you no conscience? I think about it now. Oh, God of progress, have you
I agree, Ninja.
degraded or forgot us? Where have your laws gone? I think about it now.
I like the religious questioning here. What a big brain. I love overnight oats too. Me and Mel got some in the fridge right now. Not sponsored. I'm going to be honest. I hear this album, and right now, I'm so juiced and cannot believe I was so pretentious and didn't listen to it. I'm just gonna get that right out of the way first. I'm also gonna say that if I would have listened to this album as a 14-year-old kid in 2005, the same way I was listening to the other albums I'd listened to, I don't know that I would have had a big enough brain to appreciate it. This is just as honest as I can be. It's one of those things where I'm sitting here listening and kind of thinking to myself, like, this is absolutely up my alley. But I think it's a bit too big brained for 14-year-old Walter. And I think if I would have heard it then, I would have written it off and maybe never have gone back to it. And I think that because I'm hearing these things that I like. I learned how to like prog because listen to this, like the Decemberists, right? Like, so much of what they do is kind of prog inspired, and yeah, it definitely all worked out. But it's like, I think that I didn't really have an appreciation for horns and strings and stuff in music at the time, because to me at the time I just wanted to be an indie band with like a guitar, drums, a bass, maybe a keyboard. And that only happened because I listened to Tokyo Police Club and I started seeing like pianos and Death Cab things, and I was like, okay, maybe keyboards are fine. But it's one of those things where this just did so many more things that, and yeah, I know the other stuff has horns, like I know Decemberists and Neutral Milk used horns, but it's just, I wasn't that's not what it was to me. I that those weren't my favorite songs. And as I hear this, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like absolutely here ready to appreciate this album for how genius it is. I mean, the transitionary pieces, the earnesty that goes into this. Like, you feel this guy's feelings as he sings about this stuff. And in some ways, it kind of reminds me of Neutral Milk Hotel's like abstract nature and how it brings feelings out of you that may have nothing to do with the lyricism. But at the same time, there is, again, just conviction within the voice. And I'm finding I really... the dynamics of shifting all of these different, like, scenes almost. I mean, it's very thematic. Yeah, and does anybody... maybe I'm having my Frank Zappa moment to your going to you going off. Do you guys have that, like one of those bands where you like got into it too early, or you got into it and you're like, man, people said I would have liked this, but I only like this now because I have the set of experiences and I've explored, I've listened to other stuff that I enjoyed. There's no way I could have enjoyed this as a kid. Horn sound is nice, but this piano, the jazzy vibe. Ooh. Are those... what is that noise I just heard? That wasn't keys, was it? Was that really... what is that noise? Smiths for you, Judo. These noises are unreal. It's reminding me of this movie I watched a long time ago that I really enjoyed, kind of an artsy film called The Science of Sleep. Absolutely advised. absolutely here.
I was asked to improvise on the attitude, the regret of 1,000 centuries of death. And the superstitious where I am writing on, I am writing on. Even in my best condition, counting all the superstition, I am writing on.
Wow.
And we left the beatitudes of 1,000 lands. We were asked at the attitudes they reminded us of death.
Again, this, and we laughed at the Beatitudes of 1,000 lines. That's kind of nuts. Again, the way you comment on that, because the Beatitudes is like, it's kind of a tough one to laugh at. Like it's actually like it's probably one of the things that Christianity did best was like, be kind, be these ways, right? So laughing at the idea of like the one thing that maybe inarguably Christianity like spelled out pretty well. Is just very interesting imagery. And then we were asked at the attitudes, they reminded us of death. What a contrast, you know? I really love his use of juxtaposition here, but also of really like kind of polarizing it.
We were asked at the attitudes they reminded
Or pointing out polarization. This and I cried myself to sleep part. Man, it hits.
For the earth,
I love the guitar bits too.
they may sound just right to me.
This song was so good, dude. Like, it was a friggin' journey. It really did just take you places. It was like, I honestly, it was like almost then it transitioned into that. I think it almost felt like an indie rock equivalent of kind of a thick as a brick style journey, you know, like different things, but they had extra writers, I guess. Did they, or was this all like from the brain of Sufjan? This is John Wayne Gacy. I watched his documentary, dude. Messed up, unbelievably brutal. His murder ballad. Everything is credited. Okay, whoa.
His father was a drinker, and his mother cried in bed. Folding John Wayne's t-shirts when the swing set hit his head. The neighbors, they adored him for his humor and his conversation. Look underneath the house there, find the few living things riding fast.
The harmony there. This guitar ride.
27.
Sounds like he's playing a Gibson J45. Can anybody give me a gear list?
Dead.
That's just an acoustic guitar sound that I feel like I have a pretty good idea about.
27 people, even more. They were boys with their cars, summer jobs. Oh my God.
Whoa.
Are you one of
I'm willing to bet you the Civil Wars heard this and thought, you want to make a career out of what Sufjan did in that one part where he said, oh my God?
Oh my God.
Buddy.
Are you one of them?
What acoustic guitar does Sufjan Stevens use?
He dressed up like a clown for them, with his face paint white.
Is it a Gibson J45?
And on his best behavior, in a dark room on the bed, he kissed them all. He'd killed 10,000 people with a sleight of his hand, running far, running fast.
Who's doing the harmonies here?
He took off all their clothes for them. He put a cloth on their lips, quiet hands, quiet kiss on the moon.
Gosh.
And in my best behavior, I am really just like him. Look beneath the floorboards for the secrets I have hid.
It was a Martin D28 that he played. Well, I'm ashamed of myself. I don't know. Do you think how many he mainly plays banjo or piano live on tour? Really? Well, that's friggin' cool. I think he's saying that anyone could be hiding a dark side. Huh. I think the use of haunting imagery is kind of what like seals this, right? Like there is an ominousness to this. And you have like kind of the comment where publicly seen he's looking like a good guy. I don't know, man. The comment on like he kissed them all like with the cloth on their lips. And in my best behavior, I really am just like him. Look beneath the floorboards for the secrets I have hid. It almost, I don't know. I, it almost feels like I do wonder if he wrestles with his own identity within what he may or may not have believed at the time. Like, I wonder if he was because. And I'm only saying this because I've seen the use of like Christian imagery within his writing, and having been given the context that he was a gay man, right? So I'm coming at this connecting dots that maybe don't need to be connected. And if that's the case, do let me know. I'm actually just asking this for the sake of curiosity and artistic conversation. Do we feel like maybe he is he coming from a Christian background, living in like the guilt of a pray the gay away kind of culture? Or is this a context where he's commenting on the idea that like he hid those kinds of things? The reason I ask, I guess, is because I do know people that I grew up with where he had where I grew up with people that were gay that grew up in a church and felt very much like that like they couldn't be themselves, and I that is I gotta tell you, like, I feel terrible about so many of the ways I felt like people were treated, and how terribly mishandled I felt like I'm not going to go too deeply into that, but this could 100% be a case of me connecting dots that don't need to be connected because I have a certain personal experience, like growing up in the South and in church, and like seeing people who were gay like have to deal with the ridicule that came from the religious Christian community, and then growing up to like not have good feelings about how that happened, and feeling like, man, maybe I've been indoctrinated, and maybe like the love part is the part I should be focusing on, and then feeling like that in and of itself was taboo, and realizing like I wanted nothing to do with what public Christianity was. Like I was gonna like just pursue this myself and like not take part in hate, right? But long story short, I look very sympathetically at people with that background because I know firsthand what it looks like. Does that make sense? So when I hear things like this, and maybe I'm connecting dots that don't need to be connected, but in my brain, I'm wondering if to him coming from those religious connections, if that has something to do with it, because of commentary that I have heard from gay friends who have had that upbringing. Anyways, guys, apparently Twitch is gonna make me run an ad. Sorry, I hate that, but I'll be right back. Let's get back to her, shall we? Okay, here we go. And sorry if I touched on anything that wasn't like awesome, but yeah, it's something I think is relevant. This one is Jacksonville. Immediately, I'm brought to neutral milk without. I want to start saying the "I love you, Jesus Christ." Anybody familiar with that song? Because that's what I'm hearing. Giz, thank you so much for the tickle bitties. Need some cheer after that, dude. Thank you, dude. More than happy. You guys hear that too? I love you, Jesus. Oh, not anymore. You're right, it didn't stay long. Ooh, and the banjo. The drum sound. Okay.
I'm not afraid of the black man running. He's got it right, he's got a better life coming.
Buddy, this is so in my alley.
I don't care what the captain said. I fold it right at the top of my head.
The banjo with this. What does it remind me
I
of?
lost my sight and the state backs in. I follow my heart and it leads me right to Jackson.
Phantom Islandy.
She gave us a medal, she gave us a medal.
This is so nice. This has easily been my favorite on the album so far.
If seeing is right, then look where you're at.
Oh man, and the horns there, that nice little transition, uplifting. I can't get past how much I love the combination of banjo and strings.
I'm not afraid of Nichols Park. I ride the train and I ride it after dark. I'm not afraid to get it right.
This is a whole vibe, dude.
And I give it one more try. I said things that I meant to say. The bandstand chairs and the dewy day parade.
It almost reminds me of like a Woody Allen movie score.
And the spirit doesn't change. She gave us a mirror, she gave us a map. If seeing is right, then look where you're at.
Dude, seriously, the horn transitions are just so nice. This is far and wide been just such a good vibe after some pretty heavy stuff.
Jackson, all I'm asking, show us the wheel and give us the wine. Raise the banner, Jackson hammer. Everyone goes to the Capitol line. Color preacher, nice to meet you. The spirit is here and the spirit is fine.
These little picked clean tones serving as the lead guitar is so nice.
You give us our sight and the hearing is fine. Andrew Jackson, all I'm asking, give us the wheel and give us the wine.
And I was over here listening to Iron and Wine at this time period. I would have liked that. Maybe I would have liked this more. A short reprise for Mary Todd, who went insane, but for very good reasons. Okay. He can do it all, does what he wants. A prince-like genius? A prince-like genius? A different kind of genius, maybe, if he's playing all of these. Like, okay, I'll take that. I'll take the hyphen like. I'll allow it. Of course, I've not heard enough of either of them to compare the level of genius, but I will say if this gentleman Sufjan like wrote and composed all, like I mean truly, dude's got a huge brain, like for sure. The banjo and folk vibe though has just got me so happy.
Our stepmom, we did everything to hate her. She took us down to the edge of Decatur. We saw the lion and the kangaroo take her down to the river where they caught a wild alligator.
I would have been obsessed with this song.
Sangamon River, it overflowed. It caused a mudslide on the banks of the operator. Civil War skeletons in their graves. They came up clapping in the spirit of the aviator. Sound of the engines and the smell of the grain. We go riding on the abolition grain train. Stephen A. Douglas was a great debater, but Abraham Lincoln was the great emancipator.
It certainly reminds me of James Mercer's work with the Shins. Absolutely reminds me of James Mercer's work with the Shins. Honestly, I wouldn't say just on the O Inverted World album. I think I would say more in the later albums. But on maybe a little bit of O Inverted World here. Maybe in like
Great emancipator.
there's something there. Avett Brothers a little bit. The Carpenter album
Chicken
specifically.
on the hill with your rooster tail. I had my fill, and I know how bad it feels. Stay awake and watch for the data. No small caterpillar, go congratulate her.
This album is amazing. So far, like what I've heard, like I'm actually just really, really, really impressed. And just how dynamic. It only gets better. The great I am. That's what God calls himself. Because he is, right? Again, digging into that religious imagery there, huge.
Stand up and thank. Stand up and thank.
We love a Say Sura in this chat, do we not?
Stand up and thank.
Say Sura W. I say Sorrow. Who am I? Say Sura W, guys. That was good stuff. That was such good stuff.
Stand up and thank. Stand up and thank. Stand up and thank. Stand up and thank.
That was a really good one, dude. I love the clapping. I wonder if that was actually a live performance or if they just overlaid that. One last Whoo-Hoo for the Pullman. And this is Chicago. Oh! First heard Sufjan when he played Chicago for KEXP in 2005 when I was driving home with my wife, 4-year-old and 2-year-old. We pull up at home for a minute or so, and I turn off my car. My 2-year-old Oliver shrieks in protest, clearly demanding that I turn the song back on. I do so, and wow, great call, kid. And all 4 of us sat in the car enraptured, and Chicago became part of our family song lore. I would have spent $20,000 tuning forks for Chicago alone. So this is an amazing... Friggin' right, dude. That just made this whole album worth it. What a beaut. W's for that story. Holy cats. I love a good song lore to a person's life. When I ask you guys in the comments to tell me things like how music connects with you, that's the crap I'm looking for. Tell me how music moves you or moved you or what it means to you. That is such a good, that is what music does. Again, I have so many moments in my life where I can think to a certain song in my head and, just think wow, that really was the soundtrack to that moment, happy or sad. And to share a happy one like that, where you've, just family in the car. Wow. I'm really happy you shared that, man. Big ups. That was a good one. kind of
All
like
things
a
go.
little
All
Yes
things
vibe.
go. Drove to Chicago. All things know. All things know. We sold our clothes to the state. I don't mind. I don't mind. I made a lot of mistakes in my mind. In my mind. You
The
came to
soundscape
take
here with these
us.
strings.
All things go, all things go to recreate us. All things grow, all things grow. We had a mindset. All things know, all things know. You had to find it. All things go, all things go. I drove to New York in a van with my friend. We slept in parking lots. I don't
The
mind.
strings in the back
I don't
on top of this like
I
Rhodes
was in
keyboard.
love with a place in my mind, in my mind. I made a lot of mistakes in my mind, in my mind.
The introspection that shines through this is just beautiful.
All things go to recreate us. All things
If I like this song, I'd really like Seven Swans.
we had a mindset. All things know, all things know. You had to find it. All things go, all things go.
That's a real horn. I was playing like it was a synth, but that's a real horn. He still lives in Brooklyn? Okay. Took place in scenic, not Chicago.
If I was crying in the van with my
Love you.
friend, it was for freedom from myself and from the land. I made a lot.
I actually want to come back.
If I was crying in the van with my friend, it was for freedom from myself and
Wow.
from the land. I made a lot of mistakes. 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 You came to take us. All things go, all things go to recreate us. All things grow, all things grow. We had a mind.
Is it recency bias that I feel like I'm imagining Styx right now because I just listened to a Styx album last night? Or does this kind of give us a Styx vibe?
All things grow, all things grow.
You hear the church bells in the back?
All
This is a musical now? No, that was not mentioned, I don't think.
you had to find it. All things go, all things go. You came to take us. All things go, all things go to recreate us. All things grow, all things grow. We had
Good music is good. You might have just pegged it better than anybody I could imagine. That might be the most eloquent way I've seen this typed yet. It sounds like David Byrne produced an Elliott Smith album. But it was all done in one guy's brain mind. You know what I'm saying? So Sibley, okay, so you took your wife and aunt to the Broadway musical of this album and it was good. Good to know. Good to know. That's actually really awesome. I did not know that. I mean, honestly, This album is not off to a bad start, guys. Like, this is looking great. This song is fantastic. The horns and the string used in the capacity that they are throughout this album has just been awesome. Definitely not too many other indie albums lean into it as deeply as Sufjan has here. Because they've Neutral Milk and The December is certainly in their own rights do so in different ways. Frightened Rabbit too, I suppose. And I'm just going off of the formative 5 because that's the measure in which people were like, how is this not on that? This choral ending is amazing. This song is... I think that this has been my favorite song on the album. And I really was, I know I kind of say that as I go, and that's been a comment that people mention is like, you kind of say that as you go. And I'm like, well, it's because, there's recency bias. But then there's also, I think Jacksonville was probably, Jacksonville or Chicago, both of them tremendous songs. A lot of Belle and Sebastian, another just blind spot for me. Next song is top 3 for you? Okay. That's Casimir Pulaski Day.
Goldenrod and the 4-H stone, the things I brought you when I found out you had cancer of the bone.
Whoa. Casimir Pulaski Day is a local holiday officially observed in Illinois on the first Monday of March in memory of Casimir Pulaski, an American Revolutionary War cavalry officer born in Poland. He is praised for his contributions to the U.S. military and the American Revolution and known as the father of the American cavalry. Bingo, bango.
Father cried on the telephone.
Belle and Sebastian is probably the number one influence on the Decemberists. No way. I of the little bit I've heard of CSNY, maybe.
Your father cried on the telephone, and he drove his car into the Navy Yard just to prove that he was sorry.
I like that he throws the rhymes.
In the morning, through the window shade, when the light pressed up against your shoulder blade, I could see what you were reading. All the glory that the Lord has made, and the complications you could do without, when I kissed you on the mouth.
This song is just so nice. You guys ever hear the Milk Carton Kids? Reminds me a bit of them. And kind of makes me think that they were absolutely inspired by these guys. Sorry, Clark wants water. Okay. My bad. Sorry about that. If the mountain goats were Mormon? narrator grapples with the loss of his romantic partner who dies of bone
at the
cancer.
Bible study, we lift our hands and pray over your body, but nothing ever happens. I remember at Michael's house in the living room when you kissed my neck and I almost touched your blouse.
Like he's even his like kind of shyness conveys through his lyricism.
Top of the stairs when your father found out what we did that night, and you told me you were scared.
Ooh, that's a good question.
All the glory when you ran outside with your shirt tucked in and your shoes untied, and you told me not to follow you.
Wow. A little bit of a badly drawn boy kind of vibe here too.
Sunday night when I clean the house, I find the card where you wrote it out with the pictures of your mother.
Again, the enders of this. I like that throughout this album, we have not dealt with our guy giving us verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, ender. You know, like his songs have this really cool almost stream of consciousness vibe where it's kind of just like it's significantly more than whatever is on his mind at the moment, right? But like it's significantly more intentional than a stream of consciousness. But I just like that.
At the Great Divide, with my shirt tucked in and my shoes untied, I am crying in the bathroom.
And like he allows himself to convey his emotion in his music, and I love that.
In the morning, when you finally go, and the nurse runs in with her head hung low, and the cardinal hits the window. In the morning, in the winter shade, on the 1st of March, on the holiday, I thought I saw you breathing. All the glory that the Lord has made, and the complications when I see his face in the morning in the window.
Gosh.
All the glory when he took our place, but he took my shoulders and he shook my face, and he takes and he takes and he takes.
And the way it ends. Wow. This is an amazing song. This is so nice. And the way it's ending. I mean, truly, this song, just the way it's ending is incredible. And it asks very fair, heavy questions, you know? The workers of Rock River Valley region, I have an idea concerning your predicament, and it involves an inner tube. Bath mats and 21 able-bodied men. Thank you, Garrett. Sound. I can't not hear the neutral milk inspiration here, or potentially. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm sitting here thinking to myself that I could totally, absolutely listen to this soundscape easily. I mean, the way everything is going, the horns, I like the very full piano. Like, again, the use of piano throughout this album has just been amazing. Maybe some of the best work that indie rock ever did with piano. Like, really, maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The heaviest affair we've seen here. Oh, that transitioned. Flute?
Trouble falls in my home, troubled man, troubled stone. Turn a mountain of lies, turn a card for my life. Man of steel, man of heart, tame our ways if we start to devise something more, something half ways. Only a steel man came to recover. If he had run from gold carried over, we celebrate our sense of each other. We have a lot to give one another.
I feel like BCNR certainly heard this too.
To the lake, saw the monument face, yellow tides,
That's super cool.
golden eyes, red and white, red and wise. Raised the flag, summer home, parted hair and part unknown. If I knew what I read, I'll send it halfways.
And then we're back again. Indie folk prog jazz. For sure going up. Tones are just so nice. Yo, Eugene, thank you for following, homie. Welcome to the Brewskis. Brewskis, make our new friend feel at home.
I took my bags, Illinois, dreamt the lake took my boy. Man of steel, man of heart, turn your ear to my part. There are things you have said, raise the boat and raise the dead. If you take us away, still we can say, only a steel man can be a lover.
Okay.
If he had hands to tremble all over, we celebrate our sense of each other. We have a lot to give one another.
Certainly reminds me of BCNR's live at Bush Hall. Welcome home safely, Blower. Hi. Does anybody else get Bush Hall vibes that's heard it? Love the way that this is kind of chaotically descending. I felt like the guitar had been left out this whole time. I'm happy to hear this. Listen to that. Yo, Indie Poser 420. Thanks for saying that, man. You big old peach. Welcome to the Rooskies. Rooskies, make the new friend feel at home. Sufjan has been a whole vibe. I also swear that he loved Frank Zappa. Incidentally. Is he going to transition into the next? Peoria, okay. Prairie fire that wanders about. And there's an ominousness to that sound. Scary elevator in the west. You think For Emma from Forever Ago had anything to do with that particular moment, or heck no, completely coincidence? Hey, new guitar day! I understand what that's like. I just got one myself. I'm psyched.
Into the crossfire faithfully run. Middle America, one on one. We are young, we settle the front line.
It's interesting how many of these little interlude moments there are that just totally work. Opera singer Emma Abbott, not familiar. Firefly version of Trey's guitar, that's got to be so cool. The junction of drones simulating the way in which Sufjan Stevens has an existential crisis in front of the great Godfrey Mays. Okay. The predatory wasp of the Palisades is out to get us. Very nice. So Giz likes predatory wasp number 1.
Thinking outrageously, I write in cursive. I hide in my bed with the lights on the floor. Wearing 3 layers of coats and leg warmers, I see my own breath on the face of the door.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I am not quite sleeping. Oh, I am fast in bed. They're on the wall in the bedroom creeping. I see a wasp with her wings outstretched.
Okay. Whoa. That transition into this instrumental moment, though, was so beautiful. Golly, melancholically beautiful, but beautiful in a heartbreaking kind of way. I love how layered his music is.
North of Savannah, we swim in the
And dynamic.
Palisades. I come out wearing my brother's red hat. There on his shoulder, my best friend is bit 7 times. He runs, washing his face in his hands. Oh,
I also think Scott Hutchison from Frightened Rabbit probably listened to this quite a bit and got a couple of ideas on how he wanted to deliver his own lyricism. And I say that because I think my earliest trace of Frightened Rabbit is 2006. This came out a year before that. So I would certainly say that there's some sort of connection.
I meant to tease him. Oh, how I meant no harm. Touching his back with my hand, I kiss him. I see the wasp on the length of my arm.
The guitar run is just so nice. He really does have this folk vibe meets string
Great sights
symphony.
this day. Hallelujah. Birds fly and rivers play. Hallelujah. Trail of tears,
This part is amazing. Unbelievable transition. And then going into that round.
state of my heart. He was my best friend. Into the car from the back seat. Oh, admiration in falling asleep. All of my powers, day after day. I can tell you, we swaggered and swayed. Deep in the tower, the prairies below. I can tell you, but telling it's old.
I can tell you that telling it's
Terrible
old.
states and terrible storm. I can tell you, the day we
I'm
were
a big
born.
old fan of this, dude.
My friend is gone, he ran away. I can tell you, I love him each day. Though we have sparred, wrestled and raged, I can tell you, I love him each day. Terrible state, terrible Palisades, Palisades, tell you, I can wait.
These low drones that they do, that he does, just really has that. I don't know, man. It's got such a tension to it. What if Nightbot was one day like thanks? Oh. So it seems like this might be where the title or the titular track is. They are night zombies. They are neighbors. They have come back from the dead. Ah. What funky sounds with this guitar and bass. I don't know if it's a guitar being played with the polyphonic octave generator or if it's a guitar and a bass playing syncopated. We already had the title track. Yeah, I know. Okay, fine. I love the strings there. What does it remind me of? It reminds me of. Is it a Donna? Is it? I love to love you, baby. Is it that Donna Summer song? Love to love you, baby. This sounds like a musical, like for sure. Wow.
We are awakened with the axe, night of the living dead. At last, they have begun to shake the dirt, wiping their shoulders from the earth. I know the nation's past. I know they rust at last. They tremble with the nervous thought of having been at last forgot.
I'm inclined to agree with you there, Tara. I think that, again, I've commented on how earnest he sounds when he's going through this, right? Like, you really believe him. And even when he's kind of singing in what feels like abstract ways, or telling a very basic kind of like day in the life of story, whatever it is he's doing, there is this earnesty to his voice where you just kind of feel like you're hearing your friend just tell you the real of it, like where they're coming from, like from a tough spot, whatever. It's very, 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 very interesting to me. And I think that when you have that mixed in with all of this other genius instrumentation and layering, and I mean, the concept is massive. Like, what a big thing to pick apart. I mean, and it's not like our guy half-assed it here. Like, look what he did. Like, look how big this album is. This is an hour. It's like a double album. You know what I mean? It's huge. He's self-referential. He kind of connects the writings. He also really allows, I think, a lot of his own character to shine through the things he writes, and his perspectives to shine through. He wrote a very introspective and questioning album while also writing an album that, in maybe a lot of ways, came from more of a storyteller perspective kind of narrative than a like anecdotal feelings of I lived through that kind of thing, or maybe he imagined things that he could relate to feeling to. I don't know. I'm very impressed with this. And this song, I really find that I love the musical Broadway play kind of vibe. The string work.
Names, they shake the flag, waking the earth, it lifts and lags. We see 1,000 rooms to rest, helping us taste the bite of death. I know my time is past. I'm not so young, I'm not so fast. I tremble with the nervous thought of having been at last for.
And then he's got the kind of sound, but like walking the earth, right? Well, I mean, honestly, this whole chunk, this whole bit. Speaking their names, they shake the flag. Walking the earth, it lifts and lags. We see 1,000 rooms to rest, helping us taste the bite of death. I know my time is past. I'm not so young, I'm not so fast. I trembled with the nervous thought of having been, at last, forgot.
I tremble with
unreal.
the nervous thought of having been at last for.
Kind of round thing that they're doing is also very, very nice. Been a wordy endeavor to try to follow along with, but I mean, truly kind of sums up, I think, maybe the concept, huh? That was really good. That was such a good song. I'm actually really sad because it looks like most of the songs are like 1, 2, 3, like really tiny ones, and it feels like we only have 3 songs to go. So we'll say like 3.2. I'm gonna run an ad on it. That song was really good, dude. The whole Illinois, the way they spelled it, the transitionary pieces, everything, man, super good. Yeah, I'll be right back. Alrighty, sorry guys, we back. Had to say good night. And we are going to close this thing down. So I guess we're going to jump into another one of the instrumental transitions. Let's hop in here. What is your favorite instrumental transition on this thing? Is this Al Capone? These soundscapes are super nice. Mary Todd. Ooh. Let's hear that string part again because I don't think they heard it all the way out in Bushnell. Was Bushnell somewhere earlier in this? And then this one is in this temple, as in the hearts of man, for whom he saved the earth. Okay. The Seer's Tower. Ooh. Really heavy undertones here. Just immediately in the way it's being delivered.
In the tower above the earth, there is a view that reaches far.
His voice, man.
Where we see the universe. I see the fire, I see the end.
You hear the way it gets so big like that? And then you've got those oohs in the back.
7 miles above the earth, there is a manual of mothers. With his sword, with his robe, he comes dividing man from brothers.
Gosh. I don't know if I'm hearing the modulation or if it's just string decay. Maybe? It's nice, whatever it is. This crescendo.
Above the earth, we built it for Emmanuel. In the powers of the earth, we wait until it rests. In the tower above the earth, we built it for Emmanuel. Oh, my mother, she betrayed us, but my Father loved and bathed us.
This is heavy.
Still I go to the deepest grave, where I go to sleep alone.
Bro. Unbelievable. Phew. That's such just a sadness, man. Yeah, I mean, it really does just have this like a heartbreak to it. Golly goodness. That was such a heavy ride. Okay, so this is The Tallest Man, The Broadest Shoulders Part 1, The Great Frontier Part 2, and Come to Me only with playthings now. So it's like a two-parter. Okay. Another Illinois history lesson. Yeah, that last one, we definitely needed a lightened mood. The horns really uplifted this in a very necessary way. Very Frank Zappa-y. I can't get past how Frank Zappa-y it feels.
I count the days, the great frontier, forgiving face the seventh year. I stand in awe of gratefulness. I can't call forgetfulness.
I feel like it's like if Schroeder from the Peanuts movies and videos decided to like start an indie band, or just like this was like Schroeder's like solo album.
I stand in awe of gratefulness. I can't call forgetfulness. And when I call the patient fall, the spirit, the carpenter invites us to be with her. On how we become America's soldiers on the great frontier.
The flute work, man. Definitely revisiting the themes here.
I count the days, the great frontier, forgiving face the seventh year. I stand in strain to make ends meet. Five spirits on the grand
I don't know if it is or not. I don't know. This album is certainly a revelation. I could be reading entirely too much into this. The vocal rhythms are maybe, I don't know. This whole thing has just got me. Where the inspiration came from, I couldn't tell you. Maybe some of the lyricism I can relate to a little bit in their abstract, but also it's like an album that is somehow both incredibly abstract and also incredibly poignant and pointed. Which is incredible to me because it's not easy to do both. It's not easy to do both at all. And the horns, the entire symphonic arrangement here, and then all down to the Rhodes. Okay. Dynamics for days, and then the horns. Oh. Bears and bulls. This album, like I'm blown away at how just seamlessly cohesive this album's concept has been. What a big friggin' brain, dude. What's our guy look like here? Okay. Big impressed. And then this cascading piano. Ah. Oh. Wow. Riffs and Variations on a Single Note for Jelly Roll, Earl Hines, Louis Armstrong, Baby Dobbs, and The King of Swing. To name a few. Kind of sounds like a NOLA jazz band getting ready to start it up. But one of them took LSD. And out of Egypt into the great laugh of mankind, and I shake the dirt from my sandals as I run. Ooh. I see what you did there, Boar. What a soundscape. If there are lyrics for this, please genius them over. I'm loving this sound. kind of pulsating bigger and bigger. Have a good night, Ninja Cat. I could listen to this sound for days. I like that they progressively add to it without you feeling overwhelmed, but still keeping stuff in the mix. They let some of it fade out. Kind of transitioning out again. Is this the way she ends, huh? Pausing for pointed commentary. That really does just feel like it could be movie score for any kind of independent film that you would see at the Sundance Film Festival. And I say that in the most positive way. Like, I really like that. That is nothing but good things coming out of my mouth. Almost reminds me of like what the movie Hers sound like, kind of background score was like. Does anybody have any commentary on the imagery used on the album art here? Yo, Mickey the Mousy, thank you for that sub, homie. Welcome back, 4 months. I don't deserve you. The balloons, the buildings, the Ram, Al Capone. The xylophones there in the back. Is this arpeggiation, or has this been just a progressive, like a piano doing this the whole time? I'm actually really, really, really impressed with that friggin' album, guys. I should have listened to that album a long time ago. I say to myself, I may not have appreciated it when I was like 14 when the album came out, but maybe I would have, though. Literally, it came out a few weeks before I turned 14. So I was like seriously getting ready to fall in love with Death Cab. Like, for sure, I was getting ready to fall in love with Death Cab. I guess this would have been the summer of Weezer for me, though, when it dropped. But I certainly, I find myself sitting here thinking maybe I can only appreciate it now because of the musical journey I've walked on, and like found myself having the ability to kind of reflect, but and like having found influences in other places that made me appreciate this particular one more. I don't know. but I definitely feel like it might have changed the course of like my listening direction had I listened to it as a younger man. And now, as an older man, I feel like when I hear it, I'm like able to recognize some of the genius that goes into it. Yeah, I'm definitely there's definitely a special thing to this. Like, this is an artistic masterpiece. I don't know if I want to go as far as to say masterpiece on a first listen, but it's certainly something the likes of which I haven't heard before. Not in the realm of indie rock, not in this particular realm. And yo, goats, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate the absolute heck out of the fact that you came by and for watching the Frank Zappa videos. Guys, this album was immaculate. I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. Love yous. Goodbye.